If you have ever sat back and wondered how completely out of touch the Hollywood elites are with mainstream America, normal people, me and you, all you had to do was tune into the Golden Globes last night. Judging by the preliminary ratings that were just released, you didn't watch it. Seems normal people could not have cared less about the Golden Globes. I cover the mainstream media for a living. I didn't even know the Golden Globes were on last night. When we finished dinner, my girlfriend's daughter wanted to watch Child's Play, that old movie, so that's what we watched. Child's Play, not the best horror movie, but it's okay. It's a hell of a lot better than the absolute garbage Hollywood produces today. For as long as I can remember, the Golden Globes have aired on NBC. Judging by the ratings the last couple of years, I don't know how much longer that will be the case. Historically, the show always airs on a Sunday night in January. Now, this is a smart move by NBC. What's happening Sunday afternoons in early to mid-January? The NFL playoffs. NBC would air the late afternoon game, hoping the large NFL audience would carry over into the Golden Globes. It usually worked. 2019, almost 19 million viewers. 2020, right before Fauci began spreading his special fungus to the rectums of shitfucks across America, 18.3 million viewers. For some reason, these award shows have always pulled in strong ratings for the broadcast networks. I've never understood why. Why do I want to sit for 3 hours watching a bunch of people who identify as birthing persons accept an award that I don't give a shit about? But maybe I'm in the minority because millions of other Americans seem to enjoy watching it. Until now. Back in 2020, Ricky Gervais hosted the Golden Globes. It became abundantly clear after he gave his opening monologue, he would never be invited back. During his monologue, he lectured the identifiers in Hollywood about the dangers of being baptized and born again. Now, he wasn't talking about them being baptized in the name of Jesus. He was talking about baptism in the woke bath, where you step into the water as a normal person, Father Jalen Rose dips you down, washing away all common sense, and you rise up out of the water as a professional wanker spanker, ready to take on the world with your fake outrage and complimentary preparation H. The monologue from Ricky Gervais fell on deaf ears. The past 2 editions of the Golden Globes, they have been a dedication to shitfuckery. 2021, hosted by Tina Fey and Amy Poehler. The films nominated that year were considered to be woke classics. Films like Promising Young Woman, about some broad named Cassie Thomas who dropped out of medical school because her friend was sexually assaulted. She made it her personal mission to teach toxic masculinity a lesson. Other films like The Prom, which mocked the prevalence of Christianity in small-town America. These are just a couple of films nominated back in 2021 that I'm sure you've never seen, likely never heard of. Ratings for the 2021 Golden Globes and their dedication to wokeness, just under 7 million viewers. So the message is clear, right? You go from 18 million to under 7 million in the span of 12 months. You would think Hollywood would get the message, right? I don't know about you guys, if I turned off 11 million people in 1 year, I would be looking to change. But this is Hollywood we're talking about. They didn't listen to Ricky Gervais in 2020. They didn't listen to you in 2021. They didn't have anyone but themselves to listen to last year because the Golden Globes weren't televised. Why? There was a boycott in Hollywood. Now, this was not a writer's strike. This wasn't a Screen Actors Guild boycott. They weren't boycotting the shortages of Preparation H. Even though lower class shitfucks were affected by that shortage, the elites in Hollywood still had plenty of supplies. There was no shortage of the butt bongo last year in Hollywood. The 2022 Golden Globes, they weren't televised because NBC joined the boycott against the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, which is responsible for producing this garbage. Now, can you take a guess why they were boycotting? If you've been watching this channel for a while, the answer should be simple. NBC refused to broadcast the show last year because the HFPA is severely lacking diversity. Oh, diversity! Woke boner word. You see, the board of the HFPA was filled with evil white men. NBC, they couldn't get behind a non-diverse entity like that, so they just simply refused to broadcast the show. Surprisingly, no one cared. Not one normal person called NBC begging for the return of the Golden Globes. But this year, the HFPA got their shit together. They were excited. They were ready to prove to deacons at Woke United Methodist just how diverse they could be. They asked Jerrod Carmichael to host the show. KC, who in the hell is Jerrod Carmichael? Until this morning, I had no idea. It didn't take me long, though, to figure out how he got the job. My inside sources, they were able to obtain the application he was given by the HFPA. Are you black? Why, yes, I am. Are you an alpha better? Check, but I don't like the term alpha. It represents toxic masculinity. I prefer plus plus. Do you go by pronouns opposite your birth gender? Why, yes, I do. I like my shit-fuck pronouns. Jerrod Carmichael was given $500,000 in woke welfare to host the Golden Globes last night. And you know what? Good for him. I don't have anything against this dude. For all I know, he could be a great comedian. But if these people are dumb enough to give you $500,000 because you check multiple woke boxes, take advantage of their stupidity. Last night, it took all of about 60 seconds for Jerrod Carmichael to set the tone of the show. There were plenty of rainbows at the Beverly Hilton in Los Angeles. Oak trees were provided so attendees could participate in their required worship. Emotional support shovels were on hand for those moments of pain, remembering the days when the HFPA lacked diversity. Here are a few highlights. This is the best Hollywood has to offer. Roll the film.
I'm here because I'm black. This show, the Golden Globe Awards, did not air last year because the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, which I won't say they were a racist organization, but they didn't have a single black member until George Floyd died. So do with that information what you will. Like 1 minute, you're making mint tea at home. The next, you're invited to be the black face of an embattled white organization.
I remember when I first came to Hollywood, it was a dream come true until I got here, because look at this face. I came here and was told you're a minority, and I'm like, no, that's not possible. And then someone said to me, you speak English. I mean, forget about them not knowing Korea, Japan, Malaysia, Asia, India.
When I was a young person at home in the 70s, watching the Carol Burnett show, I never ever saw a person like me getting an award or even being a character on a TV show. It's hard being an LGBTQ kid in America, in fact, all over the world, then and now. And I have one word for you, Florida. You are often told you will never become anything. You have to hide your light to survive.
Okay, so let me ask you something. Who was that show made for? When production was sitting around the room formulating ideas for the show, who were they thinking about? Were they trying to attract normal people? Or were they begging for membership to Woke United Methodist? The HFPA has been embroiled in this diversity scandal for the last 2 years. Last night was the atonement for their sins. This was their way of atoning for violating the woke commandments. Question is, did it work? Of course not! Jerrod Carmichael is being blasted by the wanker spankers because he made a joke about Whitney Houston. He's also being criticized by his fellow shitfucks in Hollywood because he joked about Scientology. How dare you mock Father Science? This is blasphemy! Our beloved oak tree is not to be tarnished with your attempt at comedy. She is only to be worshipped and used for pleasure on lonely nights. So, the Golden Globes failed to resonate with the wanker spankers on Twitter. For 3 hours, it was nothing but fake outrage on the platform. The show also didn't resonate with the elitists in Hollywood. They take their oak trees seriously. You do not commit blasphemy against their living God. They don't even want you using paper. If it were up to Hollywood, we would have a mallet and a spike for communication. But okay, failed to resonate with the spankers, failed to resonate with Hollywood. How did the Golden Globes perform with normal people? Oh, just your typical performance for woke programming. Anytime there's an ode to the oak tree, it doesn't perform well in the ratings. This performance was no different. The triumphant return of the Golden Globes to NBC drew the lowest ratings in the history of the show. According to preliminary numbers, only 5.4 million people watched this heavily polished turd. Ratings were down 26% from the previous record low in 2021. That's okay. It's all good. Because according to NBC, we received 11 million views on our digital platforms. Translation: people watched highlights online, decided they just weren't all that interested in watching the rest of the show. While these record low ratings might come as a surprise to the media, it should not be surprising to normal people. The Emmys, record low. The Grammys, record low. The VMAs, record low. What do they all have in common? They're record woke. Jerrod Carmichael was an unmitigated disaster as the host of this show. His monologue was dreadful. You even heard him admit it. The only reason he was given the job was based on the color of his skin. Was Chris Rock not available? Chris Rock is a funny dude, and he's qualified, but it wouldn't surprise me if he turned down the opportunity to host this garbage. I will give the Golden Globes credit for one thing. Kevin Costner, he won the award for Best Actor for his role as John Dutton in Yellowstone. Yellowstone's the #1 show on television, but for some reason, it continues to be completely ignored by the mainstream media. At least the Golden Globes had the decency to recognize one quality show on TV. Yellowstone is proof that people will watch programming that isn't politically motivated. We watch TV to be entertained, not to be lectured. There's this misguided notion that Yellowstone is the conservative show. It's a show catered to evil white men looking to take advantage of the Guardians. That could not be further from the truth. There is nothing political about Yellowstone. The show has one goal: entertain you. This used to be a common goal for all shows on TV, but the majority of shit on television today has a political slant, and it only leads one direction: towards the rainbow. But give me your thoughts. The Golden Globes sets record low ratings again. What did you think of the show last night? And that's assuming you actually watched it. Better yet, how many of you guys watched the Golden Globes last night? Let me know. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys tomorrow.